for more stats, more laughs, and even more questionable advice? Strap in. Welcome to Off the Bench, the only NRL Supercoach podcast where the puns fly faster than the footy. Rossco's got the strategies, Timmy's got the stats, and the beast, well, he's got a face for radio and opinions for days. From last-minute trades to epic captain fails, we're here to roast each other and maybe help you out as well. Expect wild predictions, a bit of friendly banter, and the kind of footy chat that'll make you spit out your morning coffee. So grab your notepad, your best banter, and join the Supercoach shenanigans. The whistle's blown. Let's kickstart your day, the Off the Bench way.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to NRL Supercoach Off the Bench Week 23 wrap-up. Supercoach head-to-head finals have just kicked in this weekend. I'm joined tonight by the same old two reprobates I've always got every single week. How are we going there, Ross?
Oh, good evening, everybody. I don't know, mixed week. 12.98. I only won 3 of my head-to-heads. 2 of them were my cashies. A couple of them I'll get a second bite of cherry in, but all in all, a very average round. I'm glad I ended up looping Nathan Cleary because I was going to captain Lomax, which would have made it even more of a complete utter failure, but just shit scores in there. Donahue, Osako, Drinkwater, Nakora, who's now suspended for 3 weeks plus a bye, so thank you very much. What a shit bye he's turned out to be. And then on top of that, the Raiders are on the bye next week, so I'm already down a second roll for next week and with no trades left. Yeehaw. That's a lot. Thank goodness for Teddy too. I've got to say, Teddy with 180 odd as well, far out. I mean, here we were a couple of weeks ago saying that he was that he wasn't doing well with Sam Walker in the team and that we should all sell him. I know people who did sell him, and I also know someone who was going to captain him this week and kind of talked him out of it. So I kind of feel a little bit bad about that because he ended up captaining Lomax instead. So, So, and he's ranked in top 1,000 too. So I left the decision to him, but I don't know. It was a very hard round. I mean, look at Teddy, what he's been scoring the last few weeks. It was very hard to captain him, but I do know a few that did, including an opponent of mine who looped him. But all in all, pretty average, I think. I don't know. It might be about par. I'm not too sure yet, so we'll have to wait and see.
Well, I'll tell you what, in the top 10%, Teddy was captained by only 5% of the top 10%. So if you did strike one of him in your head-to-heads, or if you're out there and you did captain him, let us know. But, you're one of the rare ones because only 5% of you did. How'd you go there, Tim?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks, boys. Supercoach was pretty average, but the rest of the weekend wasn't too bad, I guess. Hey, look, a 12.64 is what I'm sitting on at the moment, which is, I'd say it's probably 30 or 40 points under par. I think par is going to be 1,300 or thereabouts. I'm sitting 3 out of 8 head-to-head leagues up at the moment. But there's a few scores in there that are some pretty monstrous ones. I lost 2 head-to-heads to blokes that were 1450 odd. A few that were really touch and go. I looped Cleary as well. Was going to captain Lomax. I basically worked on the theory that we've still got 4 rounds to go. I had 4 trades left going into this round. I had a fair bit of carnage that I just kind of had to deal with, but I only used the one trade, went from Herbie to Lomax. I've still got 3 trades to go. Unfortunately, I lost my cashies. I finished top 4 in both of them, but one of them's only a 12-man cashie, so I actually drop out of that one, which is really annoying after coming third. And we're a fair way in front of the other guys too, which is just a pain in the ass, but it is what it is. It's a downside of being in the smaller cash comps, smaller league ones, that is. So, live to fight another day in all of my other cashies. The ones that I finished outside the top 4, I won. So I was actually really lucky there. So saving 3 trades, I'm hoping that was the master plan to get me right through to the end now. So especially I've got Nickera. He's gone for a few weeks, so I've got a trade there. He'll just go straight to Payne Haas, I think. And then outside of that. And then probably Hosking. Hosking will turn into somebody else as well. with the bye next week?
Well, you're obviously in a very lucky position where you've actually got trades. I know Rossco doesn't. I've got 2 up my sleeve. But I'm alive still in one head-to-head cashy, and I'm alive in another major head-to-header. So, saving those trades maybe for when I need them. I got 13.30, I think, this week, around about there. So it's not that great, really, like the two of you. God, there were some shit scores and some shit games. I mean, we'll go over it in a minute, but the Dolphins game, I think the highest scorer was 40-odd points. I had 2 of the bastards in my team, so just horrible from that point of view. All right, should we get straight in it? Well, by the way, g'day, Joey. Joey's he's got a rather long one there. Timmy, I'll let you read that, but his short one is he says that you're 3 minutes early, so he's already getting into you. It's only early days.
Oh, mate, I'm just waiting for the Broncos game. Yeah, let me have it, Joey. We probably deserve
it. And Joey, he's just said that he got 14.38. Mate, what a score. That is a...
Well done, Joey.
That's a...
Yeah, I think he had Teddy as captain, had Marky Mark, and I think he had Savala. He might have played as well, I think, too. So he had a cracking round. But yeah, well done, Joey. You've had a few good weeks, so you must be nearly catching Timmy.
He's one of these super coaches that loves to put his own players from the team that he devotedly follows into his super coach team. So hence he follows the Roosters. The Roosters go off their brain, and so he will go well. But that's still, don't take anything away from it. That's a cracking score.
Absolutely. If you haven't checked him out, guys,
definitely the week to bloody have Roosters players as well. That's
60 odd points, but if you haven't checked him out, guys, go check out the Ruck Infringement podcast. Those guys do an amazing job. They have special guests on all the time. Minicello recently was a cracker. It was a really, really good interview. He let out plenty of information about his how he's gone over the years, and I listened to one the other day from Jason Hetherington as well. That was a bit of a cracker too. So well done, Joey. Check him out, the Ruck Infringement podcast.
I did have a listen to the mini one. Very interesting. Very interesting. But we'll stop dribbling over the Roosters. We'll get to that game in a minute. The round kicked off with the Storm versus the Broncos. Timmy, do you want to tell us the sad tale? You might as well get this out of the way early.
Yeah, just rip the Band-Aid off, boys. Righto. So Storm 22, Broncos 2. The sad part is the scoreline doesn't reflect the game, I don't think. It's obviously for anyone that's watched it, if you haven't and you've been living under a rock, the Broncos were well in this game and lost their 2 halves in the same play trying to run down a runaway try. So, Adam Reynolds blew his hamstring. I think Ezra Mam did his first, trying to get the tackle. And then, Adam Reynolds trying to chase down the runner. So he did his as well. And then about half an hour later, Selwyn Cobbo did his. So it's going to make for a very interesting team list next week. Probably really handy that I held on to Karapani because chances are he might get another run. It's going to be interesting. The Broncos did not go to plan for the Bronx, but don't get me wrong, they didn't throw in the towel. They gave everything to it. And let's be honest, you'd like to think if any football team loses their 2 halves and one of their superstars, I guess you'd think that a team like the Storm would absolutely put them to the sword, but 22-2, and it was they got 2 tries late on, so it was actually pretty close. So look, as far as Supercoach scores go, Cam Munster with a 92, Tyrone Wishart with an 86, rewarding those who went the pod route with Wishy once Jerome Hughes went down a couple of weeks ago. Xavier Coates with a 79, I think that included 2 tries from memory, 2 or 3 tries. Harry Grant with a 77, Paps with a 76. Nick Meaney, 67, took the kicking tee back off Pappenhausen after Craig Bellamy put him in the doghouse last week after some average kicking. Stefano Udakamanu with a 64. Eli Katoa with a 64, also slightly under what we'd all like, but every man and his dog's got Eli Katoa, so in the grand scheme of things, it probably does not matter much. As for the Bronx, Payne Haas top scored with an 83, got some juicy updates because he only finished on 60-odd. Jordan Ricky with a 62. Pat Carrigan with a 49, actually downdated, which really annoyed me. I was hoping he was going to go up. He played most of the game and got a bajillion tackles, but I think a lot of them were third man in, doing what Paddy does just to slow down the play and, finish up the tackles when players are still moving. But unfortunately, you don't get rewarded for that in Supercoach. Stags with a 45, Cobbo with a 42. Yeah, look, not a lot to report on here. Benny Hunt went from hooker into the halves. So that was about it. Walters went from a bench hooker into playing hooker. And then, everything was all over the shop after that one. So, tough game to watch. Was not much fun.
Probably the only one really we should talk about as far as Supercoach is concerned is Harry Grant. You own him there, Ross?
No, I don't. No.
That's 3 scores in the 70s. I think he's put together now, back to back. So he's coming into some rich form.
No, he's looked good. He's looked good, especially since Hughes has been gone. Certainly stepped up the game a bit more. I'd like to own him. But with no trades, that makes it a little bit difficult. And even if I had trades, I certainly wouldn't be bringing him a hooker with all the other issues that I've got at the moment. But, I don't know. I just think unless you need to get a hooker, I think, with these head-to-head finals, you need to look at matchups and look at your upside players that you want to be bringing in, not your safe ones, if you know what I mean. So
I think with Donahue got put on report. Did he ended up?
He got put on report twice. I think he'll get fined. I think if he takes an early plea, he'll just get a fine for both of them. If he contests and loses, then he'll get 2 matches. So, but he should never even got put on report for that one that he did on Suawong anyway.
Good tackle. That was
anyway. That was a fucking great tackle. Seriously.
I think that's the problem. If they fight it, like they're down on troops enough as it is, the Finns. So if they fight it, it's not worth the risk. Who was it?
No, they won't do it. They'll just take the plea. Right. So
you don't want to be like Jack White and fight something that you really shouldn't have, and then get an extra week when it didn't deserve to go on report.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's ridiculous that people are trying to compare it to the one that Whiten got suspended for, because Donahue actually did try to attempt to tackle him. So it's a little bit different. I mean, if anyone deserved to get suspended for that tackle, it was the other bloke who was in it. Was it Keeley or whoever it was, who did an actual shoulder charge? Yeah.
All right. Now, but before we move on, Joey did give us his listening out there. He did give a couple of comments on this one. He said the Broncos looked more like a 2-year-old trying to put his pants on. And then he followed that up with, there was only one thing more painful than listening to Blocker commentate, and that was watching the Broncos. I say bullshit. Blocker is way more painful, particularly trying to say Mark Nakanawazi.
Hey, at least you can pronounce that name right. You can't pronounce Billy Smith. Come on, seriously.
All right, moving on. Newcastle and the Panthers. I might quickly run this one through. For the Knights, not a lot of relevance here, really. Bradman Best came back 57. If you got room to move him in, then you've got way too many trades. Brayley, Jaden Brayley, 77. He got some extra minutes with Crosland getting knocked out. There's nothing really else relevant that goes down there. There's no relevance in those Knights, unfortunately. Where are they going to fit?
Well, Gagai was highly traded in
this week. Gagai was, and he ended up with 40 points. So, he's a bit of a low max there for you. But, Gags. Yeah. But this is what you're going to get. You're going to pick players from those low teams. They might get a high score, but there is a potential that they can get a rubbish score as well. So, you certainly there is a high upside, but you're also exposing yourself to risk if you're going to get any Knights players in. I don't know where the hell are Canberra going to fit Brayley next year. This guy is an 80-minute hooker, right? He was the next big thing 3 years ago before his run of horrid injuries that he got. how Canberra going to fit him, Paddy, and Starling? And Starling, they've just re-signed.
I don't know. Starling's killed it this year. I just don't understand why they signed Jalen Brayley. Like, I don't know. I'm with you. What are they going to do with him? Like, it would. I don't. Why would they re-sign Tom Starling if they're not going to play him decent minutes as well? Like, I don't get it. Like, and they don't need any forwards, so it's not like you can play lock or anything like that because they've got an up-down amount of forwards there at Canberra. So I don't get the signing. I'm not sure why they've done it. If they weren't going to re-sign Starling, I could understand it, but I think they weren't given a choice given the way that Starling's played this year. He's probably been one of their best players all season. So I find it a very odd signing. I'm sure there's other clubs out there that could have used an 80-minute hooker like Jaden Brayley. I don't know who, maybe Titans or someone like that, for example. I don't know, but
it is interesting because I thought it must have been he's not really a player that we've talked about in Supercoach as far as hookers go this year. And let's be honest, it is a sort of relatively higher upside play position, I suppose, when you look at some of the other guys that we flock to grab on a regular basis. But look, he's played basically every game this year. His Supercoach scores are anywhere between about 15 and 50, and that's about it. So he certainly doesn't set the world on fire. He's more of a bit of a shoveler sort of hooker, just given quality service out from dummy half. So not exactly an attacking play. He's not really a defensive, like a tackle bot either. So I don't know. Yeah. I've never really rated him myself.
Yeah, I call bullshit on it. I will call bullshit on that because he is quality. This year, what you got to put in is that his minutes are so erratic, right? Most games, if he's lucky to get 20 minutes, Yeah. Brayley is quality, right? He was the best brother out of the two of them. Now, Blake has had a really good run at Cronulla and he's got through without injury. But Jaden was meant to be the big thing, and unfortunately, he had that really wretched run of injuries. I really do. I rate Brayley a lot, but we can agree to disagree. But until you give him consistent minutes in all those scores you're looking at there, you've got to take into account the minutes that he's played, because most of the time Crossland they keep on there for 60 70 minutes even. Oh, let's give Brayley a run for 10 minutes, and then he gets like, a few minutes here and there. And you'll probably see that if you run your eye down the minutes there, Jimmy, you go, geez, that'd be a bit easier.
His last couple of months, so going backwards from most recent to furthest back, so he went 64, 70, 49, 62, 80, 72, 51, and then starts going. So talking back round 13 now, he's looking at 30 and 20, but he's been playing 50 minutes, between 50 and 80 for the last 2 months. I don't know. I hear where you're coming from. I just would have thought. I guess he's playing for the Knights, isn't he? And that probably has a lot to do with it as well.
For the Panthers, Cleary 104. I captained him. Most of the competition captained him. So all vice captained him. I looped. Brian To'o 102. He's still not even 500,000 yet. So I don't. Is he 500,000 yet?
I'll tell you in 2 seconds. He's 486.
Yeah.
He will be after this week. He will be now.
Yeah, so only just hits 500. So you're looking you've got to make some moves there. But the Panthers' run is wretched coming up. The next 3 games are not easy.
Yeah.
So, be wary of Panthers players getting in. Blaze Tulagi, he's been going great, 99, good at 5'8". You got him as your second 5'8".
Thank you. Thank you very much. About time you hit a decent score. I'll take that. Thank you.
Papa Leahy
been waiting for that
going to score well in that lock this week, 88 in the absence of Yo. Casey McLean just keeps getting it done at the moment, 85. Dylan Edwards is 73. When you consider how he went compared to, say, a Drinkwater would be the sell over him any day of the week. And that's really about it for the Panthers. But as I said, be careful. watch your matchups because some players like Jenkins and that might not have a great run coming up. I think they've got what's the run there? They've got Melbourne.
They've got Bulldogs next week, don't they?
No. So they go Melbourne, Canberra, Bulldogs, St George.
Oh,
so when all the mass restings that always happen, they've got St George in the final round. But yeah, Melbourne, Canberra, Bulldogs the next three. So it will be a bit of a tough run for them. But let's be honest, for a team like the Panthers and the way they've been playing, those are the teams that they want to play now to basically work them into finals form, don't they? I heard a stat today that so they've gone 9 in a row. The best ever to win the comp is 11 in a row. So if they win all their games from here on out, they'll actually take the record for the most amount of game wins in a row to finish on top at the end of the season. So they're currently on 9, obviously 4 rounds to go, and they'll have to win 3 more games after that, 7 games.
G'day, Watto. Watto's just joined us, Jared. He owns Brian Toto as well. Good stuff, mate. And he said he got nearly 1,300 this week, so he didn't have too bad a week either.
Good job.
Ross, you want to take us through the next one, the Raiders versus the Eagles? I don't. Ross is gone. I don't know where he go.
Down. Yep, righto, far away. Raiders, my most least favourite team. Ethan Strange with a 127. That's monster for those that held him as a bit of a pod. Very low ownership. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see who jumped on him. Matt Timoko. Heaps of players were flocking to him last week with a 74. Corey Horsburgh with a 66. Hudson Young with a 62. A little bit underwhelming for Hudson Young owners. But, yeah, still you'll absolutely take 62 in comparison to what some of the other second rowers were dishing out this week. Jamal Fogarty, 58. Seb Chris with a 54. And Big Papa with a 53. Hosking, 51. Unfortunately, I was holding him as a just as a staple. But unfortunately, he's about 20 points under what he was doing a month ago now that they're back to pretty much full strength. So, yeah, I think he'll go for me this week while they're on the bye. Cooler for Manly with a 92. Ethan Bullymore with a 65. Simpkin with a 64. Garrick with a 63. Again, not hitting the heights that we'd all like him to have, but most people pretty much have him. So it affects everybody. Tommy Turbo with a 55. People were going pod route there down in their fullback spots. And that's about all that's really worth talking about from them.
Yeah, beware, folks. I think the Raiders have got a bye this weekend, so week coming. So stay clear. And as Timmy said before, if you got Zach Hosking, there would be a definite sell if you had a trade or 2 up your sleeve. He'd definitely be one to get on. All right, Rossco is back with us. The Dragons versus Sharks, an absolute shithouse budget of a game this was. I will just put one statistic to you before you start, Ross. The Dragons have now beaten more top 8 teams than Penrith, Melbourne, and the Bulldogs.
I think there's only 2 other teams that have beaten more, isn't there?
That's correct. And Canberra,
and one of them was a team not in the 8 as well, wasn't it?
I think so. One of them is Canberra. I know that. Yeah. I forget what the other
team. The other team that had done it was also a team that wasn't in the top 8 either. I can't remember who it was. And that was also, and also just quickly too. That's the first time that the Sharks have lost to the Dragons in the last 10 games. I think it is as well.
Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Budget of a game. Give us the rundown.
Yeah, wet weather game. This one, not the greatest conditions. Just proves again. We say it each week that Sharks are flat track bullies. Wasn't exactly ideal conditions, but well done to the Dragons on the win. Gutho with a 92, King Tongia with a 77, David Clemmer with a 68, Leilu with a 66, Cook with a 63. And then on the other side, we had Nico with a 79, AFB with a 69, Ambuele with a 69, Wilton with a 65, and then we go down to Nakora, who got sin binned at the end and now out for 3 weeks, so we may as well make it 4 because they've got a bye. He finished on 38 points, but all in all, it was a pretty average game. But Dragons their defense was really good in this one. Dragons, Sharks, I don't know if they just didn't come out in the second half, but it was awful. I ended up switching it off after about 30 minutes to go because it was just shit. I ended up switching it over to watch the Swans game instead because I couldn't handle it. It was horrible. But yeah, another good match for King Tonga though, Brad. I know you're an owner like me. I mean, we don't usually play. He's not really a play, but he may be next week with all these Raiders players out. But yeah, even Nico, who was killed it in the first half, I don't know. They just offered nothing in that second half. It was absolutely terrible.
Man. King Tonga out going well, but there's nothing you can do with him because you can't trade him. It's too late. It's what do you? And I was waiting for him to come by. Michael
Didn't you also say that? Didn't you have a bet with him? What was the bet?
I did, a long neck. I said I'd shout a long neck.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's right. When we catch up one day, I will owe you a long neck or 2 schooners. There's 3 schooners and a long neck, I think, but, we won't tell anyone that. So, I owe you a couple of skewies there. But
just looking at the Dragons run. Just having a look at the Dragons run. So they go the Warriors next week, Bunnies the week after, then Manly in 26 for head-to-head finals, and then Panthers in the final round. So who knows which Panthers team will run out there. But we mentioned him, I certainly did a couple of weeks ago, Gutho, as a bit of a pod play for the run home, and he has rewarded those that did jump on. I think you could do worse than going Gutho as a bit of a pod play. Look how poorly Drinky's been going, especially if you've got a couple of trades and can move some coin around. I think Gutho's looking really good at the moment, and the Dragons are looking better, dare I say it. Don't get me wrong, I know it was a wet game. It was certainly not dry footy or anything like that, but they haven't looked the worst.
Brad, Tim, sorry, I was just going to say Gutho hasn't really scored that well except for that last game. He's got a 34, a 59, a 39, 61, 54. There's 103 in there against the Bulldogs, but other than that, he's been pretty average. I don't think I could go there, to be honest with you. Especially for the fact that they've got Manly there to play, and they've also got Penrith as well, and they've got the Warriors in New Zealand too. I
just think they're playing much better footy now than what they were a month ago, and I think they're trying. I mean, getting into the 8 would be near impossible, but I think they're going to try and give it a really good shake up for these last 4 games.
Yeah.
G'day, Mike. By the way, he says he's down Ulladulla fishing at the moment. He's down in God's country. That's where I'm from, Mike. I'll be down that way actually next week. I'm going down to do a few days' work down at Bateman's Bay and then going to go see Mum on the way home. She lives down there. Beautiful part of the world down there, Mike.
Well, I'm not going to deliver a long neck down there, so that'll just.
Rossco,
There you go. He's got your double or nothing versus Manly. He's asked, Brad.
When do we play them?
What was that? Round 26.
Manly.
Yeah, 26.
And Saints, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, double. I'll go double or nothing on that one. That sounds good. Yeah. I'll go double or nothing. All right, the Dolphins and the Roosters. My God. What I don't know what to say about this game. It's first of all, I will mention the Dolphins scores 87 to the new fella.
Nafahu?
Is that a Napahu?
Nafahu.
Yeah, that's how you
And then the Hammer got 52, and then the scores really start to drop away. They're all puss from there on. I'm not even going to mention them because they're all rubbish. Every single one of them. Donahue, 34. Oh, Zarko.
Oh, I sucko for
I'm sure
27.
You do.
Oh, fucking dude, that game killed me, man. Seriously. Other than owning Teddy, that game was a fucking killer.
Yeah,
seriously.
So the Roosters, this is where, of course, when you had Roosters players, you did very well. Teddy, wow, he's updated to 189. I hadn't noticed that yet. Wow.
Yeah.
Nearly 20-odd points on his updates. Whew.
That's the biggest Supercoach score of the season, I'm pretty sure. 189. So what a belter.
119 for Sammy Walker, 107 for Tupu, Daniel Tupu flying high. Marky Mark, he got 101 as well after a run of complete rubbish scores. People actually played him for some reason.
Yeah.
And look what happened.
Probably had to. They were probably forced to play him, like Tim was. Tim was forced to play him.
I had a fair bit of faith in them going right this game, so I'm going the right-hand side. So, yeah, they had to do it eventually. They couldn't keep going left every week.
Even Hugo got 97, so he got into the scores as well. I know Joey said he had him. Matty Holland now, Matty Hollyroyd, sorry. Matty said he took Angus this week and he benched Hosking. So, ouch, because Angus did not score that well, 41 points. I will say that none of the Roosters forwards, the second rowers, not that the forwards do score okay, but none of the second rowers are seemingly on fire for the Roosters. They don't, whether it's a Haas combination, but they just don't find their second rowers. So they're not really a Supercoach thing. Angus, Supercoach-wise, has been very poor. Whereas if you actually,
Can we?
No, you're right.
Keep going. No, you're right.
No, I got no idea.
No. I was just going to say, can we talk about the stupidity in this game from Spencer?
Yeah, we'll get there. We certainly will. And what I said, he brought in Sammy Walker as a pod. Wow.
Nice.
You will be cheering, man. That is a great pod.
Killed it.
Now, the Spencer Leniu moment, not Supercoach relevant, but it is relevant as far as what the mental capacity of a human being is concerned. What the hell was going on there?
It was just a brain snap, wasn't it? Really? I mean, what's wrong with him? I mean, it was just ridiculous. It wasn't needed to be done. He should have. It's just, I don't get it. I think, I question whether some of these players have got brains sometimes. Seriously, just, the next minute there's 4 of them getting sin binned and they're on 11 on 11, and then it just went from there. And then, and then Silverborn gets absolutely smashed by Donahue in a great tackle, like absolute rip snorting tackle. And then they just fired up from there. Bradley was fired up as soon as he came on the field. And I was expecting there to be more sin bins in this game. I know there was a few, on report and fined and stuff like that, but that was just mental. That start to that game. I can't remember last time I've seen anything like it.
Yeah, no, she was not. I thought it was going to erupt. I thought that it was going to go mad. Then Spencer came back and scored a try, and I thought it was all going to get very ugly. But I guess once the big score started rolling in for the Roosters, the poor old Dolphins, they just didn't really have many answers, did they?
No, I think they're just starting to run out of troops. I think once Herbie went down, that's a massive attacking weapon for them. I think they actually really struggled in attack, and obviously Herbie's a pretty good defender out wide as well. Quick question, boys. Sammy Walker is going to be still just under 700K, and basically almost a dollar for dollar swap with Nico this week, considering. Obviously, the Raiders have the bye going into 24, but the Sharks have the bye in 25. So you could probably go a week early and bank the points from Sammy Walker. They do have a little bit of a tough draw, though. So they've got Dogs in 24, Para in 25, which is probably handy for semi-finals for head-to-heads. And then they go into the Storm in round 26, finish with Bunnies in 27. So a little bit of a mixed bag there. Not an easy draw, but not horrendous. And I think the form that the Roosters are in at the moment, they've got to keep winning if they want to secure a top 8 spot. So I'm pretty keen on the Nico Hines to Sammy Walker switch next week.
I don't know if I'd be doing it next week, given that they're playing the Dogs and then Nico's at home to the Titans. So I think if you're going to make the switch, you probably want to do it around 25 when they are on the bye. I certainly wouldn't be doing it next week. Dogs are very good defensively, and as well as Sam Walker went that game, like it's the Dogs, it's not the Dolphins. Like that's the thing for me, and I expect the Sharks to bounce back at home, against the Titans. So I don't think I could be trading out Nico, not this week anyway.
The only thing I will say is that it will come down to how many trades you've got and how much cash you've got. I think Nico's going to have a pretty high BE next week. I mean, I know this time of year we like to say that BEs don't matter, but if you're still trying to trade, they absolutely do. So I think Nico's going to lose some cash and have a really high BE, whereas I think Sammy Walker's going to have a really low one after clearing his by 70-odd points this week. So yeah, you're going to need the trades. You're going to need the cash to make it work, and you may not be able to in another week's time.
Yeah, it's a incredibly sideways trade. Yeah, I don't know what to think about that one. Because the Roosters go into a hard matchup. In theory, the Sharks go into an easy matchup, and we know that
the Sharks. It's not only that
attack.
too. It's not only that too. The fact that they've got Titans, Newcastle, and Bulldogs their last 3 games, the Sharks, like you'd have to think, and 2 of those games are at home against Titans and Newcastle. I just don't think I could be trading Nico out. That's the thing for me.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting thought, though, Timmy. It is.
No, it is. Yeah.
When you're looking at, I guess it's more probably an overall play because you'll basically, well, I mean, let's be real. You're going to get an extra game out of Sammy Walker than what you will out of Nico. So is an extra game worth the possibility of some points and having an extra gun in round 25, I suppose, when numbers are going to be running short?
Well, hopefully you should have a team of guns now. So you should have, 23 gun players.
Oh, not the way they're dropping at the moment. I certainly don't. I got a team full of guns, but half of them I can't put on the pitch. So we'll wait and see.
All right, the Bulldogs and Warriors, Ross. You want to hit us with this one?
Yeah, sure.
Another week game.
Another week game. This one, the Bulldogs were too good. Good to see them bounce back into some wet weather form. 32-14 over the Warriors. Stephen Crichton was outstanding with 100. Tuala got a double and got 90 points. Kikau was 71. Karaz 63. Preston 45. And then on the other side of it, we got Aaron Clark was the top. Again, another one, Brad. 49 points was the highest score in this game for the Warriors. And then you had a bench forward, Stowers Smith, second highest with 45, RTS with 41. And then another bench forward, Vaymuga with a 40, and a bench hooker, Sam Healy, or I don't know if it's Sam or what it is, with a 37. So that just shows, how much of a tough game this was for the forwards for the Warriors. They didn't see a lot of ball in this game. And then we go to Jackson Ford with the 34, CHT 26. There's some pretty average scores in there. They obviously did lose Team Marie Martin early with a Cut 1 HIA, which didn't help. But the Dogs were far too good in this one, and a very convincing win.
Yeah, the Bulldogs scored 300 more Supercoach points than the Warriors. The Warriors were just disgusting point earners there. But it's like they were running up and down on the spot. If you watch the game, it was meters were a premium, right? Healy, by the way, he started, Ross, because Egan was out. Egan's got another lump on his melon, which is not unusual.
No, he didn't start. No, Lussick started hooker.
Oh, Lussick started, did he?
Yeah, he did,
Well, I know Healy got a try.
But Healy came on early, I think, because of the injury to Team Marie Martin. So he would have come on early in the piece. But even then, he only scored 37 points, and that included a try.
Yeah.
So, just again, as we said, very low scoring game. This one for the Warriors, very much a concern. They were making easy meters to the Dogs. Crichton, I thought, was fantastic. Kikau was making easy meters, but all in all, not great conditions for the game, though.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one this week coming because the Warriors return to home to play the Dragons. I actually think it's a really good matchup for the Warriors, but I could see arguments. And I know Mikey will be out there now jumping up and down in his fishing vessel saying, no, the Dragons are going to smash them. But no, I don't know. I actually like it as a matchup, so I probably would be playing some of those Warrior players.
Yeah. It's a hard one because the Warriors have lost their last 2 games at home as well. And they really need to start winning if they want to, make the top 4, because now that, they've got a reasonable draw home, whereas Penrith don't. So they need to basically win every game if they want that top 4 spot.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one too, because like in my situation, I've got CHT and I held on to him. I tossed up trading him to Jaden Campbell all week, and just basically kept looking at the draw and saying, no, I needed to hold on to him. Unfortunately, he scored bugger all points this weekend. He didn't get much better last weekend. And I don't know. It's a bit of a tough one there, whether to hold him or to flick him.
I think Tim. Sorry, just on CHT, the conditions were shit. Like,
no, I know.
At the end of the day, I think you can't really, take anything out of that game. I think at home, Marie Martin out. I'd imagine Tanner Boyd comes straight back into that team, but he could be better for that. I mean, but yeah, look, it depends on who you're going to trade to as well. If you've got the trades and you want to get rid of him, then I don't think I hold it against you, depending on who you're going to.
I don't know if there's really too many options in 5'8". Blaze Talangi with the Panthers draw is probably the best one. I would have preferred him down in centre wing, but yeah, not really sure. Boys, your thoughts on the kick? Sorry? Yeah, I've got Munster.
Okay,
I've had him all year. So thoughts on the kick-out try? I mean, more NRL related rather than Supercoach, although I'm sure he's highly owned and lots of people would have been jumping up and down about it. I don't know. I watched that replay plenty of times and I still can't work out how they didn't give it as a double movement. The fact that he was short of the try line and then fully rolled over and put the ball down, I don't understand how that's not double movement. He had guys holding on around his legs and everything else. I couldn't work it out. Yes, I understand that when they slow it down, everything looks horrendous. But I really thought that you couldn't exactly say that was a momentum play when he just about stopped short and then rolled over the try line. I couldn't work it out.
Okay, when he was
No, you're going to go, Brad. You're right.
Sorry, man. I thought looking at it at first it might be a double movement, and then I changed my mind on it when I looked at it, because when his arm hit the ground, there was no tackler that was connected with him, so he wasn't actually tackled. When they did reconnect with him again, his arm actually was not on the ground, and his forward movement was still being onwards, was still moving forward. And I guess that's the way they ruled it. It's just, when was the tackle completed and when was the arm actually hitting the ground? Because don't forget, if the arm doesn't hit the ground, then there's no double movement. So,
no.
It gets all very technical. I'm going to leave it to the boffins upstairs in the bunker on that one. But yeah, we just have to. I think there's certainly worse decisions this weekend as far as tries are concerned, but that one, I must admit, when I first looked at it, I had the same thought as you, but then on re-looking at it, I went, I can see where they've got that decision. Ross, you were going to,
I was just going to say,
sorry, I thought the most interesting part was, like I guess you say, all the experts in the commentary team, like they were pretty unanimous on. They all thought it was double movement, and the fact that they really only looked at it once when they went upstairs, looked at it really quickly, and then went, "Yep, try confirmed," and everyone was sort of going, "How the hell's that a try?" So yeah, an interesting one. I certainly see where you're coming from.
Rosso?
I was just going to say, I thought that the bloody slide took him over more than anything. I didn't see anywhere where he attempted to, lift his arm up to, promote the ball over the line. I just thought, the old slip and slide weather got him across the line. I don't own him either. I didn't have an issue with the try myself, but again, we've seen some calls over this weekend that have been a bit ridiculous with no consistency. So it's hard to say. I don't know what they all seem to have different opinions at the moment. So different rules, with penalty tries and stuff like that, like the one that happened with Teague Wilton in the Sharks game, for example. I just thought the bloke was going in to make the tackle, and there was another one in another game, I can't remember what it was, where the same thing happened, and they gave it a penalty try too. So, yeah, I don't know. This just don't seem to be any consistency, but yeah, anyway.
That's what we consistently say every week, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. We just want consistency.
All right, Timmy, here's your last year Queensland games. Get it out of the way. Titans versus the Rabbitohs.
Well, no, because then there's the Cowboys after that, but no, we'll roll on anyway. Look, Sammy Verrills with an 88. Bo Firma scored a try with a 78. Jaden Campbell with a 78 was on 40 with about 12 minutes to go or something from memory. So I was sort of getting real excited. I was up in 5 out of 8 head-to-head leads, and then I think he got a try assist late on. So, yeah, so got through to 78. Cam Pereira with a 70. I think he left the field early as well. Jamin Jolliffe again with a 66. Cleese Haas 65, Jojo Fafita with a 59. AJ Brimson was pretty popular, only got a 50 this week. As for the Bunnies, look, Alex Johnson, 2 tries closer to that all-time try scoring record. What's he got? 2 more to go to get there?
3 to go.
3 to go to pass it.
Yeah.
So yeah, with an 81, Latrell Mitchell with a 79. Those 2 guys just click out that left-hand side, don't they? Bentley Harper with a 74, Tallis Duncan 63, Sean Kepi with a 55, Jai Arrow 55 also. Brandon Smith in whatever troubles that he had caught by the coppers at the airport as he got off the plane. I don't quite understand that one. I don't know the whole story behind it, but was a fair bit in the media this morning and later this afternoon about it. I'm not sure.
What was he caught with? I don't know.
They never even said, did they?
There's been nothing come out about it, but basically the coppers met him on the tarmac and walked him off the plane and put him in a bus. And yeah, so at the airport as he walked out with the team, they picked him up and put him in a car and took him in for questioning. So who knows? I'm sure it'll come out in the end. But he obviously played the game and was not arrested or anything else. No charges laid as far as I'm aware. So, yeah, it will be interesting. I'm sure it'll be a watch this space thing. Let's hope it's not a white powder gate like it was a few years ago.
Just on that game too, those scores have updated too. So the updates are in for today's games already. So the scores that you just mentioned, Tim, are the updated scores. Yeah, cool. I end up losing about 9 points in updates.
Latrell Mitchell for anyone?
Yeah, I don't know.
They've got a bye to go. They've still got a bye to go.
That's the tough part, I think. Priced at 640, had a BE of 40, so he obviously knocked that out of the park. 3 games to go. They've got Para in 24, St. George in 25, the Bye in 26, and then the Roosters in 27. So, yeah, all down in Sydney. So
you don't really want to be bringing a guy who's got the bye around 27 because that's grand final week, right?
26, yeah, head-to-head grand final.
26 head-to-head grand final week.
Yeah.
So you probably don't want to be doing that, do you? I wouldn't imagine.
But does have Para and St. George the next 2. So if you've got a million trades, it's probably great. There's plenty of upside there for the next 2 rounds. But then, yeah, when head-to-head final, you're not going to have him.
Yeah, there's not a huge amount of, I guess quite a few people jumped on Campbell and Brimson, but there's not a huge amount of relevance there. I guess in the next game, there's not a huge amount of relevance here, Rossco? What's happening here in the Para versus the Cows?
A bit of controversy in this one was Parramatta 19, Cowboys 18. Addo-Carr got a double, 82 points. Hopgood with a 73, Penasini 58. Papali at fullback with a 57, and then we go back to Lomax with a 49, who was one of the most traded in this week. And then on the other side, we've got Jackson Purdue, who got a double with a 94. Brad Burns 79, Ruben Cotter 74, Cohen S 70, and Reece Robson with a 65. And Stinky stinking it up again with a 43, which is a concern. I know that I asked a question earlier. Would you be looking to trade him out, especially with him not goal kicking? I think so. If you've got the trades to do it, yes. It's very much a concern. His last few scores have been very average. I think there was a 40 he got one game either a week or 2 ago, and that included a try assist right at the end. So I don't think he's playing 100%. He's definitely got some sort of injury because he's not goal kicking. So it is a concern, but my play of the round goes to Mitchell Moses for his absolute dive in that last play of the game that cost him the instruction. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but that was an absolute 10 out of 10 performance by Mitchell Moses.
9.5
that penalty.
9.
Mate, you can give it whatever you want to give it, but it was absolute joke. You know, like he ran into him on purpose. He was never going to get to him. He knew that, so he did the thing and just ran into him.
Yeah, I read it that. I agree. Sorry, Tim, but I agree with you, Ross. I read it that way. The minute I saw it, I went, "Oh, he's played that." I can see by the rule book what has to happen, but he just played it for all it was worth.
Oh, ridiculous,
Jimmy.
I think that had a lot to do with why there wasn't much of a celebration there at the end. I think they know that they used the rule book to keep the 2 points. So, yeah, I mean, it's never a good look. But
it happens. But it happens so much. That's the problem. It's not.
That's exactly right. Let's be honest. The Cowboys should have taken the easy 1-pointer while they had the opportunity, especially when Addo Carr didn't catch that bomb. Might have moved late on him, but he didn't sort of really look like he was in the right position to take it either. Stuck his foot out to try and trap the ball. In what universe is that ever going to happen? And then and let it bounce. An absolute coach killer. But yeah, you would have thought that they'd just set it up in the middle of the park, go back for Drinky or one of the other boys to slot the field goal and then go to extra time. So would have been the smart play.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but back on Watto's one about the trade, I'm probably going to and we're allowed to disagree. I'm probably going to disagree with Ross. The Cowboys have got they've got Newcastle, West, Broncos to come yet.
And the buy in 27. They've got to buy in the final round.
But 2 of those games are at home against Newcastle. Wow, I don't know. There's a certain attraction in holding him. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Newcastle next weekend, and then the Tigers. Now, Mikey McGaw has said, Tim, I must say your wife's jacket looks really sharp on you.
Thanks, Mikey. It's actually my football club jacket. I feel like I've been wearing this stuff all weekend. So I played on Friday night with the club yesterday, and my young bloke played today. So yeah, the mighty Redlands United Football Club. Great club. Come check us out.
And Al, in reference to your jacket, has said that it's not your first rodeo.
No, I think that's in reply to the Mitchell Moses incident.
Oh, let's not
we're just whatever.
Yeah, let's not ruin it.
Let's get the road.
Where's Joe when we need him? He must be doing his own one at the moment, I think. So
yeah, they'd be kicking off now. Geez. They normally kick off about 8 o'clock.
And Dearden said after the game he should have taken the 1 point. Yes, he should have bloody taken the 1 point. Yeah. They had ample opportunity to win the game, and that's probably. Sometimes when you go back over these games, you realise, despite the efforts of the referee and all these other blunders that go on, the team that actually should have won did win in the end. And I think the team that should have won, the Eels, did win in the end because the Cowboys had ample opportunity to ice that game, ample opportunity, and they just didn't ice it. So I think the right winners in the end. But it certainly left a foul taste in the mouth there. All right. Now, folks, any last-minute questions, do shoot them in, or any trades that you want us to consider, whack them into the questions. So, Timmy, I've got two trades left. I'll probably be trading Drinkwater this week. No, I just said I wouldn't be. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to have a look at how my team is looking, but you've got trades. I want to ask Ross, what are you planning to trade?
Yeah, look, with the Raiders buy, I think Hosking's got to go. I think Hosking to Payne Haas. Look, I got about 350K in the bank as well. So Hosking to Payne Haas is probably a no-brainer as long as the Broncos are fielding a decent competitive team next week, which I think we've got enough depth. So I'm sure we should be fine, especially now with having Benny Hunt there as well, that we can move around into the halves. So I think that's a bit of a no-brainer there. So yeah, I think Hosking to Haas will be one, and then I'll just reassess. And once I have a look, I think if Nicker has got 3 to 4 weeks, then he'll probably be an out as well. Ideally, I'd like to go to someone like Hudson Young, but then he's on the bye next week anyway. So might be a bit of a pod play for a second rower, maybe Bo Firmer or someone like that. I'm not really sure whether I'll try and bank points or go for upside. Outside of that, yeah, maybe like I don't know. I think with the draw, I think you've got to hold Drinky. I think while lots of people are going to jump off, he might even be a little bit of a pod play for the run home. Although a lot of people aren't going to have the trades that you and I have got. So, yeah, let's wait and see. Outside of that, I don't really know. I think if you can hold trades, I think you probably need to hold them for as long as you possibly can, and just make sure you're fielding 18 each week. Mind you, that did bite me in the ass today with Simpson coming on late. Simpkin from the Titans coming on late because he scored his 15 points or whatever it was, which meant that I think my AE at that stage was like 48 or something. So I went from having 48, which would have got me up near Rossco or just in front, to bloody 15 points in the bank, which was just rubbish.
Yeah, well, like I said, although I have trades, I think the lowest scoring bench player I had, non-playing bench player, was Tom Starling at 48. So that gives you an idea. I've got a fair bit of strength there. So it's not a huge need to. I don't see too many needs for me to trade, actually. Hudson Young's my only Canberra player. I can easily cover him. And believe it or not, Jamal Hopgood might come in for him. Hopgood, that's his third or fourth score over 60 in a row,
yeah.
I think. Certainly his third. It might be his fourth. So Hopgood might well, now that he's moved into the front row, he seems to have found himself a good scoring position there at Parramatta, a Supercoach-wise. So I might well play Hopgood this coming week. But, yeah, no panics for me.
Well, Alan's just asked for the core owners who you're selling him to. He said he's got Hudson Young, Bo Firma, and Elise Katoa. So that's very slim pickings in second row at the moment. I've got to say, it really is. There's not really a hell of a lot to, Isaiah Yo's still out. I think injured. He won't be back this week.
I hope he is.
Maybe Alan, maybe either Kikau or Jacob Preston maybe is an option as well. I don't know who else do you guys reckon? There really isn't much.
I brought in Paddy Carrigan about 3 weeks ago, and up till this round, I've been pretty happy. He's been banging out sort of 65 to 85 for the last few weeks. Just this week, like I said, he was third man in a lot of tackles, doing what he does to slow down the play and just basically save the tackle. But unfortunately, in Supercoach, he should have been 65 to 70, but with the tackles that he got, he lost a stack of points. So anyway, it is what it is. I like the idea of Hopgood. We have talked about him for a couple of weeks. There's a few left field ones that you could go. It really depends. Like if you've got duels and things like that, move some guys around, like look at Aaron Clark. You can look at Payne Haas, especially probably some of the Warriors guys with their run home as well, and a couple of games still in NZ. So I think that's probably a good place to target too.
Teague Wilton is another one. So Teague Wilton and Hopgood, I think both this week look like they could be solid, but they're very pod. Both of them extreme pods moves.
And Wilton's also got a bye next week too. Yeah.
What's that?
Teague Wilton's got the bye next week.
All right, not this week, but the week after.
Yeah, one after. Yeah.
But Jacob Preston seems to scream to me to be the obvious one if you don't have Jacob Preston.
Or kick out. I don't mind either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that seems to be probably one of the Jack Williams at the Parramatta, but the boat might have sailed on him. He's flattening out a little bit.
Liam Martin's cheap if you want to go pod route too.
Yeah.
I'd probably go Isaiah Papali'i. I think if you're looking for someone a little bit left field, or Liam Henry, both scored well this round, and they've got a good draw for the run home. So I think two fairly low ownership guys that you could go. But again,
we spoke about the Panthers draw. They haven't got a good draw.
Panthers do, but but for their pack, not for their outside backs, but for their pack.
Liam Henry's a bench forward. He started on the bench. He got that score because he got a try. and then IPAP's only starting because Isaiah Yo's out. He's still got to come back into that team too, which will put Isaiah Pap back on the bench.
It
That's
all
the only
depends
thing with those two.
It all depends on whether Yo comes back next week or not. If Yo's back, then absolutely he'd be my number one player to pick up. I grabbed him 2 weeks ago. So he would be the number one, but he's got to come back first.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all the games now over. Have we got any more things there, fellas? I don't think there's any more questions coming through.
The only thing I will say is obviously EPL starts next week. They have started EPL Supercoach. Now, at this stage, we're not doing podcasts or anything like that, but I will absolutely be playing EPL Supercoach and also Fantasy EPL. So I haven't done anything yet, but I will put something out in the next 24 hours or so. I'll at least post the teams that I've got at this stage. Feel free to throw eggs at them, tomatoes, whatever you want to do. Give me your feedback. So, yeah, we'll wait and see. If there's enough people that are interested in listening to a podcast, if we start looking at EPL, then it might be something that I do. It probably will be me on my own. So you'd be listening to me dribble as much rubbish as possible about football. That is real football that requires 2 working feet that can kick an actual ball. But, yeah, look, it's so let me know, guys. If you want some EPL content, I'll put in the time to do it. If there's not enough interest, then I'll just chuck my team up on our Facebook page each week and tell you what my trades are and things like that. There might be a few articles that come out, but it's all going to come down to whether or not people are interested. If they're not, then I won't bother. If there is, then yeah, I'll get stuck in.
Now we do have in off the bench. We do have 2 head-to-head codes which we have opened up. For the EPL, it is 672-366. That's 672-366. I will be posting those up. They're on our Facebook page there. Do go have a look. 672-366. That is the EPL one. There is also an NFL one there. NFL head-to-heads are only 14-man comps, I think. So it's quite possible we might have. We'll open up a second one called Beat the Beast in the NFL if we get enough numbers. Actually, we've already got a few numbers in that one that's come in, so it does look like we might have to open up a second one. But the EPL, as I said, 672-366, only starts in about a week and a half's time, Tim.
Yeah, next Friday night. So it's only a week away. Just sorted out my bloody Optus Sport to Stan Sport thing this morning. So, yeah, all set, ready to go.
Yes, yep. One of my kids has got Stan put back on, so I've also got it. Not that I'll be using it to watch Stan or soccer, I don't think. I've got that much sport on at the moment. The 100 is on overseas in England. That's a fantastic tournament. Australia's playing cricket tonight. There's just so much happening. NFL's about to kick off. Great. And horse racing season, Rossco.
Yeah, hopefully they can bring back Supercoach racing again. I'd love to see it back. I don't know if they will, but it would be good if they can bring it back for sure. That's one I really used to enjoy playing. I won't be playing EPL or NFL because I've got no idea. Yeah, I know, Brad. I know you don't either, but I'm just gonna have a break, enjoy my break after this finishes, and come back ready to fire up for our podcast for the BBL when that starts in around November, December. So looking forward to having a bit of a break.
Well, Marty's going to be in the EPL. Go jump into that league. We're going to have a bit of fun with it. I've got no idea, and I've joined it. And our officials have said Nanai.
No.
Yeah.
No deal. It's a no from me.
I can see why he's asking. He's obviously got the upside. He's had a bit of a down few weeks, and the Cowboys have looked pretty average in some average weather at times as well. But yeah, look, mate, I can absolutely see why you'd go there as a bit of a pod move. We know he's got a decent ceiling. He does score a try when when the Cowboys are switched on. So yeah, look, absolutely. There's no reason why you can't go there. Let's be honest. When you've got guys dropping left, right, and center, you've got to take a punt on somebody. And he's a decent pod play with a high ceiling. So I get it.
I actually, the more I sit here, I didn't even consider him before, and I apologise for that. But Rossco's going down. I'll go thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm not.
Are you joking? You got a 37 this week, a 29 last week, 56 the week before, 43, 57, 48, 34. That's his last lot of games. Yeah, I'm sorry, but
let's say
you can't. He hasn't looked like scoring a try. Let's be honest. It's terrible. I'm sorry, but I just go for it.
I'm midway. I'm just hanging in there halfway. I'm not real sure.
Will you be happy if you had an 80-minute player who was getting you an average of 37 points?
No.
You'd be happy with that?
No.
Because I wouldn't be. I know.
No,
I certainly no way in the world. No.
Righto. So they got 3 games. They got 3 games left at home. 3 games left, 2 at home. So they got Newey at home this week. They've got the Tigers down at Leichhardt Oval, and then the Broncos at home up at Queensland Country Bank as well. So 2 games out of 3 at home. They've got teams that they should certainly be competitive against. The Broncos is always an absolute belter of a game, and I think historically he plays not too bad against them. So, yeah, look, it's who bloody knows, but let's wait and see.
We'll wait and see. Rossco said he'll have a schooner with you on that one now.
Oh, mate. It's just a no for me. Straight off the bat. It's not even negotiable, mate. It's non-negotiable.
We've got to remember, Ross. This has been recorded for prosperity.
That's fine.
Just speaking the flower.
I'm happy to be proven wrong, but like as I said, the bloke's averaging about 50 for the season, and that's it. Like he's got no upside to him unless he scores tries, and he hasn't done that for a long time. Yeah. So
you are right on that. He's got an awful base.
He's cheap for a reason, right?
Yeah.
He's lost 170k this season, and he's sitting at 450k. There's a reason for that. So, trade at your own will, mate. That's all I've got to say. But I just think there's better options out there.
So there's certainly higher base players that'll be a bit more steady for you. All right, well, that looks like about it. We're a bit over the hour mark. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening. Thank you to all the people who have commented. A big shout out to our man who helps out with a bit of the social media and other stuff, Davey. At the moment, he's still a bit unwell. Dave, we hope you get better soon. We're thinking of you, man, and we do miss the Dickus coming in and giving us a roasting every now and again when we get things wrong.
Absolutely. Yeah, you look after yourself, Dave. Get back.
All right, anything else there, Ross?
No, that's it. That's it for me. We'll see you guys back on Tuesday for our TLT podcast. Not sure if it'll be live yet, but I'll be probably get on there at some stage while I'm down at Bateman's Bay, working away down there.
All right. And Mikey says, see you Tuesday. Look forward to it, Mikey. You get plenty of fish down there and Ulladulla. Good night, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Stay safe. Be good.
Raise, shade your ass off.